Now let me introduce you to SSI tools that help you manage quantifiable backup data, or QBD. QBD refers to subordinate task steps that don't appear as line items or tasks themselves in the project schedule. Instead, task or QBD steps are part of the description of a task, providing further details about the in-progress or in-process task achievements. An example would be a document task. You may want to show a 30-day task in a project plan representing the production of a certain document with no more details in the schedule other than the 30-day task itself. However, as part of the task's description, it may be helpful to identify a few achievements or steps that occur during the 30-day period of performance. Those steps might include starting the document, releasing a draft of the document, updating the draft, and releasing the completed document. QBD is needed for certain projects with contractual requirements to define task achievements or steps for any task greater than a specified duration. By itself, Microsoft Project doesn't have a good way of identifying subordinate task steps for QBD. You could use task notes or text fields to define QBD, but neither of those offers a very good solution. So Structured Solutions added this capability with the introduction of SSI QBD tools in version 13.1. SSI's QBD tools uses an external database where projects can record and track QBD. Notice the arrow between Microsoft Project and the database. It's shown in both directions, indicating that Microsoft Project can communicate information to the database and vice versa. The database keeps a table of subordinate task achievements, or QBD steps. The same database is also used for project performance reports. We have a separate video describing that capability. And one common database can be used by several projects as a master warehouse of QBD records and project performance data. Now I'll demonstrate SSI's QBD tools in Microsoft Project. Your first step is to browse to the system location of the QBD database. SSI Tools will make its database, named SSI Analysis DB, in the location specified. You can link all your projects to the same database as long as each project has a unique title. QBD steps are organized in the database by their project title and task unique ID. Next, you'll need to identify which tasks in the project need QBD steps. These can be identified by a task's baseline duration, which you can pick from this list, or you can enter the numeric value of the baseline duration yourself. You can also use a code or performance measurement technique that you enter in a Microsoft Project text field. Double-click here to get further explanation of the identification methods for tasks requiring QBD. Once I've made my selection here, I'll click one of these options to get a list of tasks in the schedule needing QBD. This option only shows incompleted tasks needing QBD, and this option shows both completed and incompleted tasks for QBD. In my example, tasks having a baseline duration greater than 15 days require QBD. When I click a task in the upper list, two things happen. First, it takes me to the task in the Gantt chart. Second, it queries the QBD database to see if any QBD steps have already been identified for that task. When a task has no QBD steps identified, you have three options for adding steps. First, you can add each step one at a time by clicking the button named Add Steps and completing this form. I'll demonstrate this method by adding just two steps for Perform Software Code and Unit Test. The step named Code Complete is worth 50% of this task's total performance. the step named Unit Test Complete is also worth 50%, making up the balance of 100% of this task's performance. Your second option is to pick a QBD steps template from this list. You make these templates in the tab named QBD Step Template. Then you can apply a standard template to several tasks as needed. Steps from a template can be added to tasks with no prior steps identified, or you can use template steps to override a current list of QBD steps for a task. The third method is to import QBD steps. Double-click here to select an Excel workbook with QBD steps. Select the sheet in the workbook containing QBD. Select the column in the sheet containing the task's unique ID, task name, step description, step value, and step completed status. The preview window shows the first few rows of the selected worksheet. Click Import to add steps from a worksheet to the QBD database. Once steps have been identified, you can edit and post status by double-clicking a step in the step list. I'll post progress to this step. You can either enter the date the step completed or just set the step actual finish value equal to yes. Either way, SSI tools will post the value of the QBD step toward the task's physical percent complete. And it's important to note that SSI's QBD tools will only record step performance in physical percent complete. QBD tools will not post actual or forecast dates in Microsoft Project. You still need to post dates and resource values as you've always done in the past. We did this by design since QBD steps do not consider task resource assignments, task dependencies, and other factors that you'll need to consider when you post progress in a project. When you're adding steps to a task, color-coded indicators let you know when you've accounted for full performance of the current task. Full performance means the sum of all the steps you added for a task equals 100%. Yellow means you're below 100%, red means you've gone over, and green means you're at 100%. Since 100% is your target, edit or delete steps as needed to reach but not exceed full performance. Export QBD steps by task provides a nice Excel spreadsheet of all QBD steps in a project. Here's an example of the Excel sheet with QBD steps from this project. The tab named QBD Step Template is where you'll create new templates using this button, add or edit existing template steps using this button, or delete existing template steps using this button. You can even import templates using this button. Once you've created a template, you can see its steps by selecting the template name here. The tab named Audit and Compliance is where you can check the project for tasks without required QBD steps. Criteria for tasks requiring QBD is based on your QBD identification method on the tab named QBD in Active Project, plus these options on the form named Audit and Compliance. Since physical percent complete should match the sum of completed QBD steps, we have an audit to identify discrepancies. You can also fix them automatically by setting physical percent complete equal to the value of completed QBD steps. Any results you get from auditing can be exported to an Excel worksheet. We integrated QBD tools in Microsoft Project with SSI tools in Excel. Configure your status turnaround workbook template to include QBD, and you'll see QBD steps listed below each task in the worksheet that has QBD. The QBD finish column comes with drop-down options letting the task owner know how to indicate that a QBD step is complete. If you use the workbook to post status back to the project, you can also post the completion status of QBD back to the SSI QBD database.